Let's spend the last few minutes and talk about this, the SONA, which was addressed by the President and Akufo-Addo. Were you disappointed, or were you expecting anything?
Well, disappointment is an understatement, because what he read was not the state of the nation, as in Ghana address. He read an address that pertains to another country, maybe an imaginary country in his head. But the kind of things he spoke about does not apply to Ghana. If he was interested in presenting the true state of the nation Ghana, he would not have been silent on an important issue as job creation and unemployment, which is today the biggest problem confronting the youth. Today, youth unemployment is over 30%. Overall unemployment is 14.7%. Unprecedented in the history of Ghana. Over 4.5 million Ghanaians today are outside the labor force, meaning they have given up on their search for jobs due to years of frustration and disappointment. There is a total freeze on employment as we speak today. So the problem of unemployment is such a big issue that today the national security tells us that it is the major threat to our security and stability as a people. And so if you read a so-called State of the Nation address on Ghana and you don't touch on unemployment, clearly you were not talking about Ghana, and you can't expect us to take you serious. Ghanaians wanted to know what he was doing and what he has done to create jobs, because Alhaji Bawumia told us that under an MPP government, the economy will grow and grow and grow, and there will be jobs and jobs and jobs. Where are the jobs? Where are the NABCO jobs? Atonsio, Agu, 9 months arrears, Akem, they've not paid it. What about USTAT, the initiative which they said was going to create 1 million jobs? Pascala, Atonsio. What about 1D1F? That one is another mess. That is a whole different conversation. You understand? So they are flattered to deceive on their important promise to create jobs. And today, joblessness and hopelessness has become the reality of the Ghanaian, and especially the Ghanaian youth. So if you are silent on that, you have not done justice to the true state of our nation. He didn't touch on corruption, which is our biggest bane today. I've spoken to you about Japan, I've spoken to you about PDS. Scandals, scams, naked thievery, which have occasioned huge financial losses to the state. Billions of cedis, which could have provided dialysis machines for kidney patients at Kolebu and Konfanoche, or even subsidized the price. Monies which would have gone into the provision of potable water for our people, the provision of schools, cheap compounds, clinics for our people, the creation of jobs and other useful investments to ameliorate the plight of suffering Ghanaians, all wasted on corruption. The list is endless. All the perpetrators have been left off the hook. Corruption today has become a free-for-all enterprise, thriving enterprise. The former special prosecutor says the president has become the mother serpent of corruption. And of course, you know that if the big man Jack Toronto himself is the mother serpent of corruption, then his vice, his junior brother, is the baby serpent of corruption. So that is what is happening. He could not touch on the fight against corruption. This is a man who before he won power, reduced his entire campaign to corruption, promising to protect the public purse. I am too old to steal your money. What has happened to all those promises? The fact that he could not even touch on that subject, and he dodged it completely, shows that he himself concedes that he has been a monumental failure relative to corruption. And indeed, his government has been remarkably corrupt, the most corrupt in the history of Ghana. And Ghanaians are not going to forgive them for that come 7 December 2024. Then apart from corruption, the economy. He says that the economy is headed in the right direction. That is false. That can only come from a person who is living in his own bubble. A person who is living in his own wonderland. And Alice in Wonderland. Somebody far removed, far detached from the realities of our people. Because if you are living in this same country called Ghana with us, you will know that the economy is headed in the wrong direction. Because not only has unemployment risen to unprecedented levels, today the exchange rate is in tatters, such that you need more than 13 cedis to get $1. When we were paying 4 cedis for the dollar in 2016 for a dollar, one so-called economic wizard, Bawumia, told us that it was because the fundamentals were weak. And so the exchange rate was exposing us. So when in doubt, look at the exchange rate. When he came into office, he bragged that he had arrested the dollar and given the keys to the IGP, to the dollar, 13.2. Do you know what that is doing to businesses? What that is doing to livelihoods? What that means is that the person who needed $10,000 under John Mahama, 2016, when things were very rough, needed only 40,000 cedis to buy $10,000. Today, that same person, if he needed that same $10,000 without more, same $10,000, he needs 130,000 cedis. From 40,000 to 130,000 cedis. That is 1.3 billion cedis. If his capital is 50,000, completely wiped out. That is what has happened to businesses. Sometimes when we just talk about the exchange, people don't see the debilitating impact on livelihoods and businesses. You understand? Look at inflation. Today, food inflation is 27%. Overall inflation, 23.5%. And it has taken an upward trajectory in the last 2 months. You understand? Cost of living has become so high. Go and check the price of cement today. The cement that we used to buy 27 Ghana cedis per bag under John Mahama, today, over 90 cedis. It's even more in some parts of the country. Check the price of common water. Even kenke, that 1 CD kenke today is selling for 5 cedis. And they have reduced the size as well. You buy it for ome. Even water, sachet water. We used to buy the pack, 1 CD 50 pesos under John Mahama. Under those who said, Yetisikas welcome there. Today, you need more than 10 cedis to buy that same packet. Check rice, check tomatoes. Ask the woman, ask your wife. Times are tough. People are suffering. The vast majority of our people are wallowing in abject poverty and penury. People are going through pain. It is painful today to be a Ghanaian. Because people wake up in the morning without knowing where the next meal will even come from. And yet, the little money which could have been judiciously applied for the benefit of us all has been hijacked by a few greedy, selfish, family and friends of the president and Alhaji Bawumia. That is what we are talking about. That is the true state of our nation, not what they read. How can you tell us that you have kept the lights on when even as you were speaking, many parts of Accra and the country were in darkness? Yesterday, in my area, Teshi, ask anybody who were in darkness. In this week alone, I buy fuel of close to 2,000 Ghana cedis because Doomsday is back. That is a reality. They've been shedding load of 300 to 500 megawatts. I'm talking about ECG in the last couple of weeks. But they are so arrogant and so dishonest, so careless, so reckless, so insensitive. They don't even have the decency and the candor to accept that Doomsday is back and publish a load shedding timetable so that people can plan their lives. So every now and then the lights are going on and off. Check Kumasi, their own stronghold. Check Tamale, check Yendi. They all slept in darkness. Light off here and there, because they have plunged the energy sector, that vibrant sector we gave them, which had ESLA to clear legacy debts, a turbo gas processing plant giving us our own gas to power our power plants. That energy sector which had a lot of power plants, increasing generation capacity, beyond what we needed. And the investments we had even made to increase the export of power. Today we are no longer exporting power to Burkina Faso and the Sahelian countries. We've been exporting power since the days of Echampo. Today we can't export power because we are in crisis. The debts that these guys have accumulated in the power sector is no joke. It's a time bomb waiting to explode. And that is why every now and then you hear the IPPs threatening to shut down, and then they go and pay some $20 million, and then they turn it on. So they are just window dressing the problem for the next government to come and take over that problem. How would the next government cope with this? How would the next government solve this? It's just like what they are doing, the debt restructuring. You borrow so much and wasted it on corruption and consumption. Today you can't pay for your debts. Our economy is now a baller junk economy, locked out of the international capital market. Right? And then people who have lent money to you, including your own citizens, some of whom are pensioners, who need this money to buy medication. You've given them haircuts, you're not paying them. And then you do the debt payment carry forward. 2025, 2026. Who should come and pay? And with what? What are you bequeathing to the next generation to pay all these debts? John Mahama was wise. He had a foresight. That visionary man that people bastardize for nothing. He came to meet the first Eurobond Ghana went for under Akufo, $750 million in 2007. Because he knew that governance was a continuum. John Mahama didn't just pay half of it. He created a fund called the Sinking Fund and left $250 million in it to be used to pay the remainder. That is the man we are talking about here. He left them money, yet they insulted him. They are living as debts for our children and our children's children to come and pay. Yet they and their children and their children's children will never see poverty. Why? Because they have captured the state. Captured the state. Today go to the airport. The CIP launch, captured by Seratu Atta, PA of Akufo-Addo, and Femi Aditola, wife of Nana Santi Bedietu, Akufo-Addo's cousin and executive secretary. Go to duty-free shop, the daughter, Akufo-Addo's daughter, Valerie Obaze, the fair one, you know her. She and her friends, they've taken over that too. Everything they have captured. And Bawumia is not being left out at all. He is also grabbing. You go to the cocoa sector now, or according to the latest audits, and if you check the PPA website, you will see his brother's company is benefiting from sole source cocoa rose contracts, left, right, and center. What is happening is state capture. And that is why 2024-7 December is a call to national duty, a call to national service. We can't afford to let down the next generation. We can't afford to allow these people who have destroyed our nation, who have plagued our nation, who have looted our resources to continue. I don't know where Ghana would be if this government even gets one more month after 7 January 2025.
Sammy.
Our surest bet of getting accountability, of seeing transformation, of seeing true development or progress again lies in voting for change and bringing in a leader who has done it before. This is not the time for experiment. This is the time for experience. We want a steady hand who has done it before and who can steer us out of the crisis we find ourselves in. We want a visionary. We want an honest leader. We want a man we can trust. We want a man who has empathy. We want a man who has a proven track record. And that man is none other than the nation builder, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. And inshallah, by the grace and help of God, I have no doubt in my mind that the vast majority of Ghanaians have seen the light. They have seen the difference between John Mahama and these deceivers. And they know that that difference is very wide. It's like the gap between heaven and earth, and light and darkness. And I know, without a shadow of doubt, that they will give us another mandate to come and implement our transformational vision and restore this country back again to the path of development and true progress. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sammy. Thank you for your insights.